Then without notice, Kim Lee had a sudden outburst. "Hey, wait a minute," he said. And then paused. Looking over at him, he was once again tapping his finger on the transcripts, but this time his expression didn't indicate anger or frustration, but he had the look of bewilderment all over his face. He went on to say, "You know, this really doesn't make any sense, but are you starting to see a pattern here? The pieces of the puzzle are starting to fit. When I first read through this diary, I thought the two of you had several things in common. But if you really think about it, there are many parallels between the two of you." Kim Lee was right, there did seem to be many similarities between me and my donor. As Kim Lee read through the historical accounts, not only did I live a similar existence, but I have also felt many of the same things the writer expressed in his journal. And how is it possible what Min Ho said about our DNA being so close that we could be brothers? What did it all mean? Kim Lee was now up off of his chair, pacing the room, tapping his finger on his temple intently. "Think about it," he said, as he began to elaborate on all the similarities. "Look, the two of you were both orphans. You both worked in some way to serve the government. You both became paralyzed. You were both offered hope from what would seem to be impossible circumstances. Not to mention that you both should have died and yet lived. This is like the plot of a TV science fiction thriller." "Oh wait," he continued, "there are even similarities in the people around you. Except of course for Sister Mary from the Catholic orphanage being like your master, what could those two people possibly have in common? And I guess I'm like your brother in the story. Even though we were not raised in the same home, we grew up sharing almost every waking moment hanging out together. And you have always been very close to my wife, so much so that I have even felt jealous at times. Sometimes I think she enjoys your company more than she likes spending time with me. Oh, and didn't you take my wife shopping for baby clothes while I was away on a special assignment? Thinking about just that blows my mind." Kim Lee then chuckled. "You know, if we could find out who your real father is, it wouldn't surprise me if it were James Bond 007 or someone just like him." Kim Lee always did have an odd sense of humor, but if I had the ability to do so, I'm sure I would have laughed right along with him. Kim Lee returned to his chair looking more relaxed and preparing to continue. But thinking about his conclusions, I also had to wonder. Was this just a series of extremely similar circumstances, or are our destinies running parallel to one another, and if so, why, and what does it mean?